Huawei's Honor 8. This is a curious device in Huawei's lineup. It's not the flagship, that's the P9 or the P9 Plus. The Honor 8's not exactly what you'd call a mid-ranger either, but it is priced closer to Huawei's mid-rangers than the flagships. So, is this Honor 8 a phone worthy of your attention? Well, let's find out in this video. But before we do, if this is your first time here or in case you've forgotten, my name's Ash, this is C4D Tech and you're watching my full review of the Huawei Honor 8. Let's get started. While the Honor 8 might not have the most original of designs, it looks fabulous. The metal sides, the glass back and the Samsung-esque shine it brings with it all scream premium. This phone is just 7.5mm thick and weighs in at around 150 grams. Add to it the rounded edges, 2.5D glass and the fact that the Honor 8 is very compact thanks to its relatively smaller 5.2-inch display. It's ergonomic and is a pleasure to use single-handed. Talking about the display, this is a full HD IPS LCD display that's spread over 5.2 inches, resulting in a pixel density of 424 pixels per inch. While that might not be the densest arrangement of pixels we've seen, it's still pretty sharp, the colors are very natural, good contrast levels, this display is quite bright to allow for easy usage outdoors, the viewing angles are stellar, and it's worth noting that just like the back, the display is also covered by 2.5D Gorilla Glass 3. And if for some reason you aren't satisfied with the colors, Huawei has also included an option to tweak the color balance settings. Nice. Underneath the hood, the Honor 8 sports Huawei's own high-silicon Kirin 950 chip. Now that's a combination of 4 Cortex-A72 and 4 Cortex-A53 cores, similar to what we've seen from Qualcomm with the Snapdragon 652. The difference here is that the Kirin 950 is built on the 16nm manufacturing process instead of 28 as with the Qualcomm Snapdragon 652, meaning better power efficiency and lower heat generation. This is how Huawei has managed to achieve higher clock speeds of 2.3 and 1.8 GHz, about 30% more than that of the 652. The Mali T880 MP4 handles GPU duties, and this phone's available in a host of RAM storage configurations, 332, 464 and 432. That's the one being used in this video. All this is powered by a 3000 mAh non-user replaceable battery. It's worth noting that the Honor 8 has support for both NFC and USB OTG. In our tests, the Honor 8 performed very well. Played every game we threw at it with ease and barely broke the 40-degree mark even after 30 minutes of intense gaming. This is one cool chip. Anything under 45 degrees is good, but very rarely do we see temperatures this good. Note that if in the future you find something the Honor 8 struggles with, you can switch to 720p via the ROG option and manage to run it. While it's not the same as running it in full high definition, it is still better than being helpless and having to put up with choppy frame rates. By the way, that's a hypothetical scenario in the future because like I said, as of today, the Honor 8 should have no issues with anything you throw at it. The audio via the downwards firing speaker was surprisingly loud and clear, and the audio via the 3.5mm headphone jack's quite good too. I had no issues with cellular reception or call quality, but note that GeoVolt doesn't work with this Chinese variant of the Honor 8. If or when it launches in India, I'll let you know if GeoSIMs are supported in the description below. Anyway, moving on, all this is powered by a 3000 mAh non-user replaceable battery, and the battery life was decent. In my 7 days with this phone, I managed to get through every day on a single charge with moderate usage. My moderate usage involves, well, about 30 minutes of Plants vs Zombies too. Some streaming video, a lot of music via Bluetooth, like a couple of hours at least, another 2 hours of calls, Wi-Fi and 4G on all day, a lot of push notifications, your Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Gmail. And with this kind of usage, I ended each day with about 10 to 15% juice left. That's with the Honor 8 on performance mode. Switch from it and it should manage to last longer. Next up, cameras. The Honor 8 sports dual 12-megapixel rear cameras with an f2.2 aperture, a dual-tone dual LED flash and a laser assist for autofocus. The images shot with this camera turned out great. Loads of detail, excellent colors and solid dynamic range. Even under low light, this phone did not disappoint. The second camera here acts as a depth sensor, lets you do things like choosing the aperture or points of focus before or even after the shot. Barring the widest aperture settings, the results look fantastic. As for video, that's where the camera disappoints. It shoots 1080p 60fps video, but the color reproduction isn't as good as it was with still images. The footage lacks detail and often comes across as underexposed. The 8-megapixel front-facing shooter does a great job for selfies though. And with that, we get to the software. The Honor 8 runs on Android 6 Marshmallow with Huawei's Emotion UI 4.1 on top. Before we go any further, here's a little backstory. I've never been a huge fan of Honor phones. The high silicon Kirin chips in the past have always felt a little underpowered, especially when compared to their Qualcomm or Exynos counterparts, and Emotion UI has always felt a little tedious or bland. So I didn't really go into this review with a lot of expectations. But as I used the Honor 8, I was pleasantly surprised. Both the hardware and the software here felt mature. It's still a Chinese UI, so no app drawer, all your apps go right onto your home screen. There's a theme engine to help you customize the look and feel of the interface, and you also have a solid security manager to handle permissions and whatnot. But what I really like here is the fact that there's no steep learning curve. Huawei's not really changed stuff around for no reason. None of the this is our overlay, so we're gonna have to change things to just set it apart a bit. None of that. It's all kept relatively simple. The UI, this phone is easy to pick up and just use. That's not to say there are no tweaks. There are some gimmicky shortcuts, status bar customization options, a one-handed mode, and the fingerprint scanner has some extra functionality like swiping through the gallery or pulling down the notification bar or pressing it to turn on the flashlight. These are all extra features that you can use or ignore and still use the phone. Knowledge of these tweaks are not mandatory. Whatever Huawei's implemented, they've implemented it well, and the chip underneath is powerful enough to keep things chugging along quite nicely. The Honor 8 is very snappy, apps open up quick with little to no lag, and the memory management is also excellent. In my time with it, the fingerprint sensor was also very accurate, very fast. It can wake the device from sleep. So the Honor 8 looks like a flagship, performs like a flagship, has a camera worthy of a flagship, but doesn't carry the price tag of one. The prices start at 1999 yuan, that's about $300 or 20,000 rupees for the 332 variant, and go all the way up to $375 or 25,000 rupees for the 464 variant. And at this price, Huawei has made a compelling argument on why you need to get yourself one of these phones. Barring the mediocre video performance and the not too original design, there's really not much for me to complain about. So the Honor 8 gets a big thumbs up from me. So that's just my 2 cents on this phone. Do you agree with what I've had to say? If not, what is it that you disagree with? Let me know in the comment section below. And if you've made it this far, I guess you'll be able to tolerate my other videos as well. So go ahead, hit that little subscribe button down below as well. It takes just a second and helps us out a lot. It helps motivate us to do what we do. So anyway, hit the subscribe button, give this video a thumbs up if you liked it, vote it down if you didn't. And thanks a lot for watching. Till next time, this is Ashia from C4E Tech signing off. You guys have a great day. Bye bye now.